Hey, this is Joe from the Irish band Gama Bomb, and you're listening to Bloodshed with the Vampire on Metal Messiah Radio International.
Hi Joe, how are you doing? And welcome to the Bloodshed with the Vampire on Metal Messiah Radio International.
Thank you very much, man. It's good to be talking to you guys.
You're very welcome. Ireland and Northern Ireland has contributed a great part into the metal history, producing great and talented bands as Primordial, Altar of Plagues, Condemned, Abandoned, Incarnate, Wildlander, Interrogate, Storm Zone, Sweet Savage, Morning Below, and we cannot forget the alternative rock legend band U2. Among all these great bands we mentioned, we cannot forget that in 2002 in the town of Newry, Northern Ireland, Gama Bomb was formed, bonding over a shared love of retro comics, movies and old thrash metal cassette, with lyrics mixing humor and social commentary and a reputation for legendary beer-soaked stage show. Joe, please tell us how was the band formed back then and who were the first band members? And now, after 16 years and different line of changes, don't you mind to present us Gama Bomb current members?
Sure. So the band started with me, bass player Joe McGuigan, and our singer Philly Byrne, and our old rhythm guitar player Luke Graham, who left the band in 2010. But we were all big fans of old Iron Maiden tapes and stuff like that from the 80s, listened to a lot of that. At the time, a lot of people were listening to Linkin Park and Limp Bizkit and all this bullshit. So yeah, that's how we started. We all were listening to the same kind of stuff and we started playing together. And the lineup of the band, it's me on bass, Philly, the singer, Domo Dixon, our guitar player, who's been there since 2005, and Paul Caffrey, our drummer, who's been there since 2005, and John Roche, who's the newest member. He joined the band in 2012, I think.
And how come you came to this idea to make this funny thrash metal band?
Well, whenever we were young guys, we were always really interested in, even before we played in bands, we would write lyrics and goof around. Me and Philly have been best friends for many years. So we always had an interest in funny kind of lyrics, and we loved Anthrax and zombie movies and things like that. So we just kind of combined the two of them together. It was our just love of stuff that we were into as children, I guess,
But how did you come out with the name Gama Bomb?
In the 1960s, they made a short cartoon about the Incredible Hulk. We had this cartoon on VHS, and when we were kids, me and Philly would go and smoke a joint and watch this. But that's what turned the Incredible Hulk into the Incredible Hulk, was the Gama Bomb. That's where we...
Okay, I understand. Okay, Joe, touring on public transport and scrapping together pocket money to record the self-release debut album, Survival of the Fascist, in 2006. The band were soon swept in a MySpace-fueled revival of the thrash genre, signing to Iraq Records to release Citizen Brain in 2008 and Tales from the Grave in Space 2009 before joining AFM roster. How was the feeling for you and the other band members when the band released its debut album, Survival of the Fascist, independently in 2005, and when you signed your first record deal with Iraq Records in 2007 for the release of Citizen Brain in 2008? Do you still remember that tour you did in 2008 when you invaded Europe? How was it?
Yes, our first album, we recorded the album for a label, and the label went bankrupt. So we found a label in Germany called Witch's Brew, and they brought out our first album. And then we started playing some shows, as you said, on public transport. We'd take the bus to England, and we'd go all night on the train to play some shows. And then the idea was that we wanted to find a bigger record label so that we could tour in Europe. We did a demo of our album, Citizen Brain, and we sent it to Iraq Records, and they really liked it. They had just just signed some other thrash bands, Evil from England, Bonded by Blood from California. We fitted into their roster and it was a great. I remember when we brought that album out 10 years ago, we did a really long tour in Europe with Bonded by Blood, and it was very cool. Whenever you're a young guy and you have no commitments, you can go crazy.
After 3 years and 2 album release with Iraq Records, Gama Bomb returned 4 years after with a much faster, more precise, and still as goofy album, The Terror Tapes, in 2013. That continued the band's fervent 80s crossover thrash worship. Even the cover artwork, a man being eaten by a mustard tape player, drawn by the artist who did posters for A Nightmare on Elm Street. I still remember this release, The Terror Tapes, with 12 great tracks like The Wrong Stuff, Backwards Bible, Beverly Hill Robocops, Smoke the Blow with Willem Dafoe, Terrorscope, and more. Joe, besides being your first work with another record label, what has this album means to the band, and how was your first experience worked with AFM Records?
So this album is a kind of strange one for the band because it was a kind of transition record. One of our founding members, the guitar player Luke Graham, left the band because when we were on tour in America, he met his wife. They settled down. We're very happy. So he left the band, and around the same time, Philly, our singer, had surgery on his throat and he couldn't sing all the what, the high Rob House.
Yeah.
So this album, there was none of this. The songwriting was kind of different. So it was a strange album for Gama Bomb, and with the whole Eric Records leaving them and signing to AFM, there was a lot of lawyers involved and a lot of bullshit, but we were just really happy to have the album come out, and we got to go and do some cool things. We went and played in Jamaica and Moscow and some other cool things, did a tour with Artillery. So I have some really good memories of that period also.
Okay, that was great. So you came to the Caribbean.
Yeah, it's a dream of ours to go and do a tour around the islands because there's a guy in Puerto Rico who always wants to bring us there, and we would love to maybe come over and do some shows if it was even remotely possible. It would be cool.
As you said, after suffering a vocal injury in 2012, vocalist Philly underwent surgery and years of rehabilitation. Who replaced him all the time when he was recovering?
There was no real replacing. It was that his vocal cords needed rest for a lot of months. There was maybe 2 or 3 shows around when he had the surgery where I sang the vocals instead, just because his voice was still so sore. But, once he had recovered after a couple of months, he could sing. He just couldn't do all the high-pitched stuff. But yeah, whenever I sing for the band, it's kind of different. It sounds a bit like a Sacred Reich, or it's just, normal thrash vocals. It's not high-pitched.
Gama Bomb released Untouchable Glory on October 30, 2015, and this was recorded in Dublin, Ireland, and Suffolk, England over spring-summer 2015, with Scott Atkins producing. The first song taken from the album, Ninja Untouchable Glory, was released on September 25, 2015, with an accompanying music video. This was followed by a second single for the track Cheating on October 16. The band's obsession with film tropes of the 80s was still on display with Ninja Untouchable, a tribute to cheap kung fu movies that has a harder, more rhythmic beat guitar, muting the unusual. The track felt even more stripped down and riff-filled than the Terror Tapes. I must say, 12 solid tracks like Ninja Untouchable Glory, Drinker Inc., My Evil Eye, Cheating, I Will Haunt You, and more. How was your work done with Scott Atkins this time to compare the Terror Tapes? And was the achievement, album sales show played even bigger than with the other albums?
Yeah, so I think this album with Scott Adkins, we had him come over to Ireland and we rented a house beside the seaside and we stayed there for a couple of weeks and did a lot of the guitars and a lot of the work for the album. He's a great producer. He's produced all of our albums after the first album. But yeah, it's easy to work with a guy like that because he is a big fan of the same kind of stuff as us. We spend most of our time with him talking about Sylvester Stallone movies and that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think sales-wise, I think it did pretty good. I know we sold out of all the vinyl and 12-inch records, that kind of thing. People are really into that. I think maybe Gama Bomb are a band that people will buy the vinyl and, maybe buy the t-shirt, but they don't want to so much buy the CD because, we know a lot of our fans, if they listen to a CD maybe in the car, but it's a different sort of band. We want our fans to listen to the music regardless of if they buy it or if they listen to it for free or anything. We don't care.
Now, in their 16 years, thrash metal arch-geeks return with their 6th studio album, Speed Between the Lines, out on AFM Records on October 12, 2018. The album's cover is inspired by sci-fi and horror paperback novels of the 70s and 80s, while the track boasts a rich, rounded production that brings to mind classic late 80s thrash. Gama Bomb are back with a monster of an album, putting the fast, fabulous and fun back into old school thrash metal and dragging it kicking and screaming into present day with a crisp, clean production, distinctive lyrics, irresistible hooks and a huge sense of enjoyment. Joe, how was the writing and recording process gone and how long has it taken for the band to have this album ready for its worldwide release this coming October 12, 2018?
So we finished our last tour in the winter of 2016. So we started writing the music then winter 2016. And then I guess it took a whole year for us to write all the songs and demo the songs and do that kind of stuff. And then we started recording the album, I guess it was in February this year, and we finished recording it in July. And as I said, with Scott Adkins, we have the same process now, really easy to make the albums, and we prefer to spend a lot of time working on the songwriting, and then not too much time working on the studio, if at all possible. But yeah, we had the album finished in July this year, and I think it's a cool representation of us now. The same idea is we want to keep it fast and heavy and not wimp out and just make the kind of music that we would like to hear.
Joe, if I may ask, has this recording process took longer than the previous albums?
I guess it probably did. I think the previous album, maybe we had only 6 months or so to write all the songs, and this time round we had a full year,
Okay. Speed Between the Lines, the album was again produced by longtime collaborator Scott Adkins, who also worked with Cradle of Filth, Savage Messiah, and many more. How many of the band's 6 albums was produced by Scott Adkins, and how was everything gone at Grindstone Studio this time?
Yeah, so he's recorded all the albums apart from the first Gama Bomb album, which we made here in Ireland. But yeah, his studio was really cool. It's very much in the middle of nowhere. It's one of those places where the toilet is outside and kind of in the middle of the countryside. But sometimes that's what you need. If there's a pub or some beer too close by, then you're gonna think about that. Whereas if you're in the middle of nowhere, you just have to sit there and do the work, you know.
This is the 3rd album to be released with AFM Records, and I'd like to send my greetings to AFM Records family, and especially to Dustin Hartman. As we know, the album is not yet released, but what are the band expectations toward AFM Records for this new album, and is this the 3rd and the last album with AFM Records?
So I think this album we have a different distributor that AFM have helped us with in Japan. It seems to be, with the Terra tapes, there was a lot of promotion from AFM and a lot of budget for videos. And for this album, there's also been a lot of budget for videos and some more promotion. So I hope this one, a lot more people will hear about it than, I guess, Untouchable Glory. But yeah, this is our last album on the contract with AFM. We'll probably sit down and have a talk with them next year and see what's going to happen then after that.
I know it's too soon to ask this, but do you think there's going to be a 4th album with AFM Records?
Oh yeah, well there'll definitely be another Gama Bomb album, but I don't know if it will be on AFM or if it'll be on a different label or what will happen. I think maybe after this we might take some time off, maybe bring out some live album and a DVD, do some stuff like that.
I mean with the 4th album with AFM Records, right?
Because it's not in our contract, so it would mean signing a new contract. So I don't know. I guess we'll figure out after this album, is out what's going to happen with that,
With cover art by Airbrush Supreme New York-based Jared Hagman, aka Chrome and Lightning, and Rory McGuigan, Villagers. Great album cover artwork. Joe, the band remained with the services of Roy McGuigan of Villagers, but went over to artist Jared Hagman instead of Graham Murphy's. Any special reason for this?
Rory McGuigan is my brother, and he's always been a graphic designer working for, corporate people like Coca-Cola and things. And he has always done our design work. And this album, he did a lot more of the, album, all the work on the inside really, and a lot of the front cover. It was actually pretty difficult artwork wise, this album. We hired 3 different artists and we didn't like any of the artwork that any of them did. And the last guy that we hired, we took some of the images that he did and reconfigured it and redesigned it. And we're really happy with how the front cover looks. I think it looks very like Gama Bomb and very cool. Yeah, I think that's the problem really. You need to have a very, very strong idea.
What was actually the part of Jared, the role of Jared this time?
He designed the silver guy on the front cover.
Okay.
Rory designed everything else.
Okay, very great. The album will be available on CD as clear yellow gatefold vinyl, limited to 250 units. Turquoise gatefold vinyl, limited to 250 units. Clear red gatefold and vinyl red black splatter, limited to 100 units. Are there any agreements between Gama Bomb and AFM Records whether there will be more vinyl printed or not?
Yeah, so I think what they usually do is they will print up some special colours, maybe 1,000 copies in total of some special colours. And then when they sell those out, they'll print out another 1,000 copies or so of just maybe black regular vinyl,
Okay.
So you will be able to buy it on vinyl, but I think that all the special colours they only like to do small amount of,
The band has so far released an official lyric video for the song 6616 on August 17, 2018, and recently an official video clip for track number 4 on the album Bring Out the Monster on September 7th. Seeing we still have 2 weeks before the album release, will there any more videos be released?
Yeah, I think we have actually a new one this week. There's a new video for Give Me Leather, the first song on the album. So that video comes out this week, and then I think maybe we will do another one after Christmas time also, you know.
So we can get to see already Give Me Leather on YouTube?
I think it's already up on YouTube this week.
Okay, very good. We'll check it out. The band has already booked this great summer festival, Summer Breeze Open Air for 2019. I mean, for those who has been there know that this is a very, very great festival. And for those who haven't been there yet, I guarantee you will enjoy this great festival. And are there a more festival booked, Joe, for this coming summer?
Yeah, so we have some booked that we can't announce too many of them yet, but we have some really cool shows coming up, and we're going to be going to Japan next year, and we hope maybe to some other places like India and that along the way. So for us, you know, outside of making the music, one of the most important things is have fun and go to countries that we haven't been to before. So for us, it's much more important to go and see China or India than it would be to go and play in America again or something like that.
Yeah, very great. I see that the band will be playing in Holland this December at Eindhoven Metal Meeting, where I will be at too, to see you guys live and have some beers. This is a great festival and we will enjoy it. I mean, it's very nice to be back at this great festival. How are you guys feeling to be back in Holland, and what could the Dutch metalheads expect for this great show?
So we have a really special show kind of planned for Eindhoven Metal Meeting. It's going to be our first show with the new album songs and the first show with our new monsters on stage and some other cool stuff. So it'll be really good fun, and yeah, we're really looking forward to it. And yeah, we love coming to Holland. We've been going for 10 years and it's like our second home, you know.
Can't wait to meet you guys in person and to have some beers together.
Yeah, no man, we're looking forward to it. I think we'll be there the whole time. Me and the guitar player John, we have got like metal cover band playing some, you know, we play Loudness and Sabotage. Yeah. I think we play the warm-up show or the after party for it also.
Are you guys gonna be for the first night, the pre-party on the Wednesday, where I think Au Noir will be headlining?
Yeah, I think it's either that or maybe the after party, but I know that we're going to be hanging around and playing some old covers and stuff one of the days anyway.
Rooted in 1980s thrash metal, Gama Bomb have stated influences including acts such as Nuclear Assault, Creator, Agent Steel, Sodom, Old Slayer, and early Megadeth. This new album is an absolute must for thrashers of all ages and fans of Tankard, Municipal Waste, Havoc, and Warbringer. Speed Between the Lines is the sixth studio album from the band in 16 years and features Philip Byrne vocals, Domo Dixon and John Roche lead guitars, Joe McGuigan bass and backing vocals, and Paul Caffrey drums. It has been described as putting the fast, fabulous and fun back into an old school thrash metal and drag it kicking and screaming into the present day. To conclude this interview, Joe, where else will Gama Bomb be playing this year?
Until the end of this year, we only have one show, this Eindhoven Metal Meeting show, and then I think maybe it'll be start of next year we'll start doing some more festivals, and we'll have a UK tour and some European tour dates, and then as I said, I hope we will be going to Southeast Asia for some time as well, you know.
Joe, I want to thank you very much once again, and I'm gonna hand you over the microphone of Metal Messiah Radio for you to invite all your fans to support the band to buy this great new album, Speed Between the Lines.
Thank you very much, man. We're looking to see him for a beer maybe at Christmas time when we see you in the Netherlands. But yeah, we're really looking forward to all the Gama Bomb fans out there hearing the new album. And if you've never heard Gama Bomb before, go onto YouTube. You can listen to some of our albums, and if you like them, go and check out the new one.
It's only 2 months away, and I can't wait to meet you guys at Eindhoven Metal Meeting, to have some beers with you, to see you live on stage. And in the meantime, you guys take care, be good, and say hello, Joe, to all the guys from the band. And, I wish you all the best with this new album. And like I always say, metal on. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Metal on to you too, dude. Take it easy.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.